Okay, so the next policy proposal is the AFRINIC Policy Development Process BIS version 4. Authors Komielicha, Arno, Amelina, Honest Onella, Alain Aina.
No, he's presenting. He's presenting. So Abel will be presenting, then I just want to set a bit of a context. So as we all saw this morning, we are here for to develop policy and based on the PDP, the process. And the current PDP is 10 years old, has some limitations, and we, as a group, we initiated this process of amending this PDP. We started April last year, and we are now at version 4. And when we started, it was funny that in this community, the first pushback we got was, "Oh, don't PDP is not broken, so don't fix what is not broken." Yeah. Okay, but we work hard and harder than trying to convince people. And the good or bad news is now, from don't fix what is broken, now we have two proposals trying to fix what is not broken. So now we move from a problem to a different problem. And we're going to ask you as a community how we fix this. So I will let Abel present, give us an update, then we will continue from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Chairs. I will present in French.
I'm going to introduce here the development of the PDP. We have reached version 4.
Session.
Okay, just a minute or two to have the PowerPoint up, and we'll proceed.
Question to the chairs meanwhile, because both policy proposals, this one and the next one, are somehow competing. Maybe it's good to explain what will be the procedure. We will get consensus of each one, or?
Okay, so what we will do is we will treat both policy proposals separately, but we'll try to keep a focus on the issues being discussed so that the community can then decide how they'd like to proceed. Yes. If that is okay with both sets of authors.
Okay. Finally. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. So we will start by talking about what happened during the last AFRINIC meeting 2018 in Dakar. What happened in Dakar is that we have received a certain number of observations from the people who came after the presentation of the policy to make some observations about their point of view. So in a nutshell, the community has asked the authors to phase out the anonymity clause of the authors, and they inquired about the possibility for the third parties to become editors of this document. In other words, the proposal of the policies, and to phase out another clause, the board of the old members, which came for the appeal committee, and to give more time to the chairs to announce the consensus after the face-to-face meeting, and probably during the approval phase. There was also an observation asking to take into account more and more the comment coming on the list, and that the consensus does not derive from the face-to-face meeting negotiations. The interpretation that we have received in the minutes of the AFRINIC 2018 meeting in Dakar, the co-chairs have noticed that there was enough amendments and proposals concerning the policy, but the global meaning, or at least, or in other words, the global feeling that derived from these discussions is about the support, and we have to underscore the policy aimed at amending the policies adopted by AFRINIC. Some of the participants have taken the floor to give their goodwill in order to improve the content of the text and to verify certain number of items. The other have equally tried to relaunch on the list of 2018 meeting in Dakar. The last edition dates back to the 7th of June 2018, and eventually this has led to version 4, where we have tried to bring responses to all the amendments raised. We have achieved these amendments related to the various proposals, and asking for more time, in other words, to grant 2 weeks to the chairs to unveil the consensus and to refrain from resorting to anonymity for the authors. And we have amended the section related to the appeal committee in line with the current status adopted by the PDP. Now, concerning the way forward, since the AFRINIC 2018, we have noticed very few discussions focused on the current proposals. No test of proposals as agreed upon, and another surprise, as announced, has said we have received another proposal aimed at facing the same issues, and this reminds us a specific scenario of the SOF and the SLBs. Aren't we here facing a syndrome here, the syndrome of the SLBs again, and we would like for this to listen to the point of view of the third parties about this kind of situations. How shall we behave? Thank you for your attention.
Yes, just to add to what Abel just said. From here, we really want to hear from coaches, okay, and maybe from the community what would be the way forward. And because those of us who've been around for the last couple of months, we must remember the syndrome of SLBs. It didn't help this community at all. But it looked like we are going again for the same issues, and we really want to hear what the co-chairs think should be the way forward. So basically, we for this 30 minutes we do not intend to engage in discussion or support or opposition to the policy, but we want to hear what is the way forward from here, because if Jody opposes this policy, I will stand there and oppose his own policy. So we will go in the same thing. So thank you.
Thank you, Alain. One thing that I'd like us to take note of is that our policy proposals are supposed to help solve problems or improve operations. Let's not look at them as my proposal versus his proposal. And that's the reason why we juggled the agenda so that both policy proposals are taken at about the same time. Jody, would you be prepared to present your proposal and possibly explain a little bit the justification for having this, since this is already on the table?